Have you ever felt like life was trying to communicate with you, but you couldn't quite understand the message? Almost like there's a hidden force offering guidance, but the signals are too vague to interpret. The truth is, there are signs that you're on the right path. The problem is, most people miss them and slip back into old patterns. I've been through this myself. For a long time, I sensed a need for change within me, but I kept ignoring it until I noticed certain patterns kept repeating. My intuition grew stronger, and eventually I realized I needed to start paying attention to what my subconscious was trying to tell me. Once I started recognizing those signs, everything began to make sense. Our unconscious mind is always guiding us, but if we don't learn how to understand its messages, we can spend years repeating the same mistakes without even realizing it. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's why in this video, I'm going to help you understand how to interpret these messages so you can shift your reality faster than you think. Stay with me until the end, because if you've been seeing these signs recently, it could mean you're much closer to a major awakening than you realize. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists, often highlighted how the unconscious mind constantly tries to communicate with us. Whether through dreams, gut feelings, or subtle shifts in our emotions and thoughts, it leaves clues about our personal growth. The problem is that many people overlook these signals. They go through life on autopilot, repeating the same patterns, stuck in the same emotional cycles. But there comes a moment when the unconscious becomes louder. Some people wake up. They feel an inner shift. Things that once mattered no longer hold the same weight. Their perspective starts to change. But often, they're unsure of what to do with this new awareness. And what if I told you that finding this video might not be random at all? Jung called this synchronicity, the idea that events can be meaningfully connected, not just coincidences. Maybe you're here because your mind is already seeking answers. Maybe your unconscious brought you here because something within you is ready to awaken. Nothing in life happens by chance. When we're truly ready for change, the universe sends us signs. Unexpected moments, unusual encounters, repeated patterns. These can all reflect deeper changes happening within us. And if you've noticed certain patterns or feel that something inside you is shifting, that could be your unconscious trying to show you something important. So pause for a moment and think, has your unconscious been sending signals for a while? Signals you may have missed? Let me know in the comments. Let's begin with the first clear sign that you're on the right path. Isolation. Almost everyone who experiences deep inner growth goes through a phase where they naturally drift away from certain relationships. Have you felt this too? That some people no longer feel aligned with who you're becoming. Conversations that once flowed now feel shallow. You start realizing that some connections were based more on routine or convenience than genuine bond. It might feel strange. After all, these people have been part of your life for a long time. But Jung explained that as we evolve, our unconscious seeks relationships that resonate with our current stage of growth. So when you change from within, not everyone will grow with you. That doesn't mean those people are bad, or that you need to completely cut them off. It simply means you're evolving. If you've stopped relating to old interests, if your thinking is expanding, but those around you want to hold you to your past self, that's a powerful sign your subconscious is guiding you towards something new. Often, this distance happens on its own. Conversations grow less frequent, shared interests fade, and while this can be uncomfortable because we naturally resist change, it's a necessary step on the journey. However, it's important to distinguish between two kinds of isolation: the kind that heals and the kind that harms. Constructive isolation happens when you choose to step back and reconnect with yourself. You reflect, rebuild, and explore who you are becoming. You may miss people, but deep down you know this space is strengthening you. Destructive isolation, on the other hand, starts when the distance becomes painful, when solitude turns into disconnection, when you stop wanting to connect altogether and instead feel trapped and misunderstood. You withdraw, convinced no one can relate to your experience. This kind of isolation doesn't build, it drains. So pay attention to how you're handling this phase. Distance can be a sign of growth when it helps you reconnect with your inner self. But if it turns into loneliness, confusion, or disorientation, it's time to seek balance. If you feel yourself drifting from certain people, don't fight it. Don't try to force old connections that no longer fit. Trust that new, more aligned relationships will find you. But if this solitude feels heavy and isolating, don't ignore that. To support you, I've created a playlist that explains how to recognize whether your isolation is part of your transformation or if it's becoming a problem. You'll learn how to navigate this stage in a healthy way without letting it disconnect you from the world. The link is in the video description. Don't miss it. Another powerful sign that you're on the right path is this. Things that once mattered now feel empty. Suddenly, the habits, routines, even beliefs that once guided your life start to feel hollow. Have you experienced this shift? Activities that once excited you now seem repetitive. Your favorite shows, music, or places may not feel the same. It's almost like something inside has gone quiet. Jung explained that this happens because the unconscious is nudging us toward a new stage of growth. When we're ready to evolve, our mind begins to let go of things that no longer help us move forward. It's an internal reset. But here's where many people struggle. They resist. They try to force themselves to feel the same passion as before, worrying something is wrong. But what's really happening is expansion. Your awareness is growing. You're beginning to crave more depth and meaning. This transition can feel uncomfortable, especially since our minds crave what's familiar. But if you're feeling this shift, trust it. Instead of clinging to the old, embrace what's next. Let go of what no longer inspires or fulfills you. Give yourself permission to explore new interests and different perspectives. This is a powerful sign that you're growing. Another clear indicator that you're on the right path is when you begin noticing recurring patterns in your life. You might realize that similar situations keep happening, like being stuck in a cycle. Maybe you keep attracting the same kind of relationships, facing the same workplace challenges, or dealing with repeated emotional struggles. At first, this may seem like coincidence. But as Carl Jung taught, the unconscious mind works through patterns and symbols. If something keeps repeating, it likely means there's a lesson you haven't yet learned. The unconscious has a unique way of teaching. If we don't get the message the first time, life places us in similar situations until we become aware of what needs to change. It's as if life is giving us repeated opportunities to uncover hidden truths about ourselves. Many people see these patterns as bad luck or unfortunate fate, but in truth, they're opportunities for growth. The challenge is that without awareness, we tend to repeat the same behaviors while hoping for different results. Take, for example, someone who always finds themselves in relationships where they feel unwanted or unappreciated. At first, they might blame it on others or believe they're just unlucky in love. But if we look deeper, there may be an emotional pattern at play. Perhaps they grew up feeling the need to earn acceptance and carry a hidden belief that they're not worthy of love. This belief shapes how they behave in relationships, often leading them to choose partners who reinforce that feeling. As a result, the pattern continues, not because they want it to, but because their unconscious mind is still trying to resolve something unhealed. So how can we break these cycles? The first step is becoming aware of the pattern. When you notice something repeating, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? And Which of my beliefs or behaviors might be contributing to this? In the case of relationships, the solution isn't only about choosing better partners, it's also about healing the inner belief of not being good enough. That means reframing past experiences and building a stronger sense of self-worth. Another key step is to act differently than you usually do. If a cycle keeps happening, it means that your usual reactions are feeding it. Try making new choices, testing fresh approaches, and questioning your own expectations. Even small changes in how you respond can lead to different outcomes. This isn't always easy. It often requires facing uncomfortable truths about yourself, truths you might prefer to ignore. But recognizing repeating patterns is actually a strong sign that you're progressing. It means your mind is ready to learn something new and move forward. Once you truly understand and resolve the pattern, it no longer repeats. This creates space for a new chapter in your life. Emotional limbo is the space where true transformation begins. This is the point where your new identity starts to take form. Many people quit during this stage because they confuse discomfort with failure. But in truth, growth cannot happen without feeling the unease that comes with change. If you're feeling both anxious and excited, afraid but curious, don't stop. This emotional mix means you're evolving. Your unconscious mind has already started guiding you toward a new direction. Now that you're aware of the signals your mind sends during transformation, the next step is learning how to interpret them and use them to your benefit. Simply noticing the signs isn't enough. Real transformation only happens when you understand these signs and take conscious steps forward. Many people sense change, feeling their view of the world shift, yet they remain stuck, unsure, scared, and hesitant. Carl Jung taught that the first step to understanding unconscious signals is to consciously observe them. Instead of ignoring recurring patterns, strange dreams, or feelings of discomfort, treat them as clues pointing to something deeper. The unconscious never sends random messages. It's always nudging you toward a path your logical mind hasn't seen yet. A powerful and simple tool to begin interpreting these signs is reflective writing. Take a notebook and write about what changes you've been sensing. Which habits no longer make sense? What patterns keep showing up? What dreams or gut feelings have come to you? Don't rush for answers. Just write what you observe. This simple practice helps your conscious mind start to connect with what your unconscious is trying to say. Another powerful technique is what Jung called a dialogue with the unconscious. In quiet moments, close your eyes and imagine talking to your deeper self. Ask, what is this dream telling me? What does this repeated pattern mean for me? Why do I keep feeling this discomfort? At first, it might feel strange, but over time, you'll begin to receive responses, whether through insights, long-forgotten memories, or new emotions. Dreams are one of the clearest ways your unconscious communicates. Jung believed that ignoring dreams means missing out on valuable guidance. During times of internal change, your dreams may grow more vivid, strange, or repetitive. This happens because when you're awake, your rational mind blocks uncomfortable thoughts, but during sleep those barriers fall and your unconscious speaks freely. To understand your inner signals better, begin observing your dreams. Even if they seem confusing or meaningless at first, remember, your unconscious uses symbols, metaphors, and imagery, not direct language. A helpful way to interpret dreams is by keeping a dream journal. The moment you wake up, write down everything you remember without trying to analyze it right away. Over time, you'll start seeing patterns. Maybe the same symbols show up or familiar emotions repeat. Jung called these archetypes universal images that represent deep aspects of our psyche. For example, dreaming of open doors may suggest new possibilities. Feeling lost or trapped might reflect your resistance to inner change. Unknown people in dreams may represent parts of yourself you haven't acknowledged yet. To truly understand a dream's meaning, focus on how it made you feel. Fear, curiosity, relief. Emotion is the key to decoding your inner messages. If your dreams feel meaningful and frequent, pay attention. Your unconscious could be trying to show you something your conscious mind hasn't yet grasped. Silence and meditation are among the most effective ways to hear what your mind is saying. In today's noisy world, we're constantly surrounded by messages, tasks, and distractions that drown out inner wisdom. Jung believed that introspection is essential to reaching deeper understanding. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind, but about calmly observing your thoughts without judging them. To tune into your unconscious, take a few minutes each day to sit quietly. No phone, no distractions. Just breathe and notice what comes. To the surface, it may feel hard at first. You might feel anxious or restless, or your thoughts might race. That's normal. What matters is recognizing what patterns come up, what thoughts repeat, what emotions arise when you're truly alone with yourself. A useful exercise is the meditation of the inner question. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask, what is my unconscious trying to tell me? Then simply listen. Don't force anything. Just trust that your mind will respond when the time is right. Another powerful practice is active visualization, something Jung himself used. Imagine entering a symbolic space, a garden, a temple, or even a dark room. Slowly observe what appears there. Is there a person, an object, a door? How do you feel? This can uncover deep messages from your inner self. Silence and meditation aren't just about relaxing. They are tools to help you listen to the quiet guidance hidden beneath the noise of everyday life. One thing the unconscious does extremely well is repeat patterns until we finally notice. Jung believed nothing happens by chance. Everything is a mirror of our inner world. If you keep facing similar challenges in relationships, work, or emotions, it means there's a lesson your unconscious is trying to teach. Have you ever felt like you're living the same story again and again, just with different people or situations? That's not a coincidence. The unconscious repeats scenarios until we fully understand the message. To interpret these signs correctly, begin tracking what keeps repeating. In relationships, do you attract the same type of person or run into the same issues? In your career, do you often feel stuck in similar problems emotionally? Do feelings like fear or insecurity come back again and again? To break the cycle, bring awareness to what's happening. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Try, what is this trying to teach me? That one small shift in perspective can change how you handle life's challenges. Another helpful method for identifying patterns is journaling recurring events. When something familiar happens, write it down. How you felt, how you reacted, and what the outcome was. After a few weeks, review your notes. You might spot common threads. Often, simply writing and reflecting can bring hidden insights to light. Now that you've recognized the signs from your unconscious and identified patterns in your life, the next step is taking conscious action to turn insight into growth. Many people realize they are changing internally, but get stuck, unsure of how to move forward. The key is making small daily changes. This is how your mind adjusts to a new reality. Jung said the unconscious doesn't work with sudden, drastic shifts. It prefers slow, steady integration. That means you don't need to change everything overnight. Just start aligning your daily actions with the person you are becoming. If you've been living on autopilot, now's the time to make more intentional choices. Expose yourself to new experiences. Read books that inspire you, explore unfamiliar places, meet people with different viewpoints. Your unconscious is constantly absorbing what's around you. The more you expand your world, the more resources your mind has to help you grow. Practice mindfulness in the present. Often we're caught up in the past or worried about the future. But growth only happens now. Spend a few moments each day observing your environment. Notice small details you'd usually overlook. This sharpens your perception and helps you better understand the messages your mind is sending. And remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. Growth is a process. Each small change you make builds upon the last, slowly creating big shifts over time. Trust the journey. If you're already seeing these signs, something deep inside you has started to awaken. Now it's your turn to keep moving forward and allow the transformation to unfold. If you've made it this far, you already know these signs aren't random. They are your mind's way of guiding you. Now the question is, what will you do with this awareness? Most people feel these signals but ignore them. They stay stuck in loops, wondering why nothing ever changes. But you're not one of those people. You've already seen the shift. You know you can't return to your old self. Now you have the chance to grow into something greater. If these signs are showing up in your life, it means you're on the right path, even if it feels confusing or difficult. Trust the process. All of this is part of your growth. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in your life? Comment below. I am on the right path, so I know this message reached you. And if this video spoke to you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. See you in the next video.